So I am here today to tell you about what we are going to show you in each episode. What are the segments that we are going to discuss in each episode. Every episode we have designed in such a way that it's a combination of 5 or more than 5 segments. What are they? Of course, this same order may not be followed, but I would like to tell you the segments. There will be conversation, story narration, then you would also find an inspirational incident from Grace's personality's life, or an anecdote, or a parable, grammar, and a quote for you to think over. Now I shall tell you individually about these segments. So first I had mentioned about conversation. So conversation is supposed to be between two people. They would come and discuss some issue before you. Then when they discuss, note down what are the points that they are discussing. You would have a story narration. A story would be narrated to you, and on the screen you find the scrolling coming up. Follow the scrolling and the narration. Try to learn the new vocabulary which is being used, the grammar, the structures, etc. Then another segment where either we would have inspirational incidents from great personalities' lives, or an anecdote or a parable which would be narrated to you. Once again the same point comes in. Observe the vocabulary that is being used, the structures, the grammar that is being used. And in another segment we would directly discuss grammar for you, because grammar is the backbone of the language. So in the grammar we would give the explanation for that topic. There will be some nice examples, the usage part, and also exercises which either would be in this episode or the next episode. Now sometimes these grammar issues also, they may not be completely discussed in one particular episode. Sometimes they may be carried over to the next episode and so on. And we would also show you one quote, one inspirational quotation. When that quote is shown, think about that quote, cogitate on it, try to understand and imbibe that idea and follow it in your life. So this is how we have made it a mixture of different things put together, and with the main aim, only one aim, that is learning of English. English is a language, and to learn the language you need to expose yourself to many things. So that's how we have designed these episodes, and I hope you will be able to learn the language quickly and easily. That's what each episode of our telecast would be giving you. Okay? So right away we shall get into the episode. Now a grammar item for you. Learn the grammar and speak the language well.
How are you all?
Fine, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you. So how is everything going on?
Everything is good.
Nice, ma'am.
Finished with your exams?
Yes, ma'am.
Finished our exams.
Okay, and then what are you planning to do now?
Planning to prepare
for
for
competitive exam.
Oh, very good. What will you do with these competitive exams?
To survive.
to get job.
To get the job. To get good job.
To fulfill our basic
Good.
needs.
Then after that, what will you do after the job?
That to marry.
To marry?
No.
Oh, okay, to get married. Oh, then after marriage?
After marriage, children.
Then
Then we have to brought up.
bring.
We have to brought up the children.
Okay, it's not brought up, it is to bring up the children. Okay, to bring up the children. Fine. So how is the weather going on?
Weather is
Too hot, ma'am, to
go out.
survive.
To go out. Okay.
Why to survive? No, ma'am. Why to only?
Okay, these when you say to go out, to survive, to eat, to drink, to do, these things which are there, they all come under a category of a verb. Okay, and these verbs are called infinitives. So if without this to, if you have this, the verb can't be used in that manner. Of course, it does not tell the tense, but it just talks about the action which is playing the major role in that. Okay? Right, let us see. These things are called infinitives. Infinitives are verbs which take up to along with it. Okay? Verbs like to eat, to run, to read, to work. So, these words which are there, they all come under this category of infinitives. When I say infinitives, these are the kind of verbs which do not give you any kind of this do not tell you anything about any tense, these words, okay, or the infinitives, they do not give you any tense, they only go with the subject. Okay. Now, for example, so because they do not give any tense, these are called non-finite verbs. These are called non-finite verbs. When I say non-finite verbs, these verbs are the ones which are like they are open. If I say he reads the newspaper. When I say he reads the newspaper, reads, he reads. When I say reads, this one is coming as V1S form of the verb. So, when I say V1S form of the verb, this reads is used only with this he, right. If I use they read
the
the
newspaper.
newspaper. When I say this, they read the newspaper, read is coming as V1. This is going with this they. Okay? So, these verbs which are there, they are called finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are those which do not tell anything about this kind of tense. They are the same, they do not tell you anything about the tense, they are only used. Okay. So, how they are used, we will see. Now, these non-finite verbs are used in different forms. Non-finite verbs are used, or these infinitives are used in the different ways. One, we can say they are used as the subject. When they are used as a subject, subject means
The one
Doer.
who works.
who works,
Who works.
the one who does the action is called subject. So, when I say two infinitives, to plus verb. Okay. So, when I say to err is human. Err means error. Error means mistake.
Yeah.
To make a mistake or to commit some mistake itself is human. We are not gods, we are humans. So, we make mistakes and we learn from them. So, that is what is called to err is human. Here to err, to make mistake, when I say to err is coming as the subject. Okay. Now, when I say this as a subject, this is occupying the position of the subject. This is an infinitive which is acting as the subject. Okay. Right. Can anyone give one more example to this? Yes, yes, please.
To find fault is easy.
Right. To find fault is easy. So, which one is the infinitive here?
To
find.
To find. Okay. This becomes the subject here, and to find fault is easy. Right. Can you give another example?
I will give one.
Yes.
To work in hot sun is difficult.
To work in the hot sun is difficult. Which one is the subject
To
here?
work.
To work.
To work, right. Can you give one more example?
To prove oneself is very important.
To prove oneself is very important. Which one is
I
that?
will give one.
Yes, please. Yes.
To sleep without fan or AC in the summer is very difficult.
Okay. To sleep without fan or AC in this summer is difficult. Hot sun, I guess. So fine. I agree. Which one is the infinitive in that?
To sleep.
To sleep. Here in this one.
To
To
prove.
To prove. So here now you got these examples. Okay. Now we can also say one more example. To create history. To create history is not easy. To create history is not easy. So this is how you know. So these are coming as the subjects. Okay. Any?
Ma'am.
Yes.
After to work, in the hot sun is what it is another word,
Yeah, that will be in another word. Okay. Yes.
but the main subject part is to work.
To work.
Is the subject.
Right. These are nothing but they are adding some quality to all. Okay. So they are also adding something else to this. With if to work is difficult, also is possible. But where?
To work in the
In the
hot
hot
sun.
In the hot sun.
It
Where
is
you-
giving more information.
Right. So
to the
each one has got a different role to play. We'll come to that at the later stage. Okay. We'll see how these infinitives can be can act as nouns and verbs. No, sorry, nouns as adjectives and adverbs and all. We'll come to know that later. Okay. So this is one. Yes.
And one more doubt. On all the examples, after 2 we are using V1 only.
Mm.
Why is that?
Because
V2,
I
V3
told no, we can't use that. See, we are using this one where you are talking of the verbs, right? And these verbs they always take up this to, right? And they don't decide the tense. Okay. So here when I use this to err was human. No, this is a universal truth. This is actually to err is human is a universal truth. It can also be taken as a kind of we can say the what to say proverbs. Okay, so proverbs and all they come only in the
Simple
say simple present. So that way.
But in other cases, there is a chance to
No,
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 never.
no.
To
Here, how
find
can
fault
to,
was easy.
that here this one it was that you can change the tense. This part of it, this verb you can change it. Okay, what is it coming as now?
Simple present. Is
What is it
Present.
coming as? As a
presently we are.
I
was
told
a
you,
verb.
I told you infinitives can't be used as the main verbs,
Main verbs.
right? So here, this is coming as a subject.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is this now?
Yeah.
Verb.
Verb.
So verb, you can change that.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what I am asking.
That you can say. This way, as a main verb, you can change the tenses. Verbs, you can change the tense. Here, when I say this one, you can't change. To err was human, you can't because this is universal one. Here, to find fault was easy, fine. It was to find fault with those people. It was very easy. We'll say, right? That way we can go on. Clear? Right. So here now we used as a subject. Right. Let's get into the next one as object. So when you go as object, so here we'll say birds love to sing. They liked to play cricket. So this is how you can use as an object to the verb. So birds love to sing or they like to play cricket. Here you use this V2 form. Okay, right.
She asked to leave.
She
Asked
asked
to leave.
to
Leave.
leave. Okay. One more.
I chose to work.
I chose to work. Okay. Next.
I need to clean the house.
I need to clean the house. Can you give an example? Try.
I speak to them.
I speak to them. Them is what?
Pronoun.
Them was
So here it has to be
A verb.
I will try.
right. So this is how it acts as the object. Okay. So before the previous one we tried as the to infinitive as the subject, and now these are with the like the objects. Fine. Would you like to try, Hari Prasad? With any of these words you can use. One more sentence.
I need to give one more example.
Yeah, I need to give one more example. Good. I need to give one more example. Good. Can you try with this same thing? I chose to work with the same word chose. Can you?
I will choose to buy new.
I chose. Use the same thing because that will give you some practice. The same word. I chose.
to live like that only.
Right. I chose to live luxuriously. Okay.
I choose to play.
I chose to play. Right. Asked anything?
She has
they
to
liked?
go out.
She asked to buy new clothes.
She asked to buy new clothes. Okay. She asked to buy also you can say. Any other?
I like to sing songs.
I like to sing songs. Okay. So this is how it is coming as the object. Okay. Right. Now what we'll do is we'll try out with the next one, next category. So the third category of it that we have is we have certain rules here. Okay. They are called, you'll have a subject here plus verb plus required noun plus infinitive. So this is the rule. We can substitute some of the words into this. If I use a word advise, you can say I advised him to work. I becomes your subject, advise become the verb, him becomes a required noun, to work becomes the infinitive. So this is how you will be using it. Allow, you can say people are not allowed. People becomes your subject, this becomes your verb, are not allowed
To enter.
To enter the hall.
people are not allowed to smoke in public places.
Our staff are not allowed without ID card and prayer book to the prayer.
Okay, our staff
Are not allowed without prayer book and ID card.
our staff doesn't allow to enter.
Without
Prayer.
time.
So we can say when I say our staff doesn't allow, okay, in this I didn't add the required noun there. Okay. So here our staff doesn't allow us becomes your required noun. Staff doesn't allow us to enter without prayer book. Can you give some examples to this?
What is the difference between those two?
This is called the here
We are using are there.
here people are
Here does not.
staff
is
staff we are treating as the singular here. Staff might be we have plural, many people are there, but still they are taken as a singular. So, here it is used as a singular. People, generally that itself is a plural form, so we use are. So, in this I did not add any of the required noun, but here I added that noun. Okay. Can you give some examples of this?
Did Madhu convinced me to quit the job?
Very good. Madhu convinced me to quit the job. Okay. So, Madhu becomes your subject, convinced becomes your verb, me becomes your required noun, to quit becomes your infinitive. Yeah.
She encouraged me to
She encouraged me
improve myself.
to
Improve myself.
improve
Myself.
my language, we will say. Okay.
My friend suggested me to read well for examination.
My friend suggested me to read well for the exam. Good. So, my friend becomes your subject, suggested is the verb, me becomes your required noun to read. Okay. So, this becomes your infinitive. Okay. One more example, last one.
The commander forced the soldiers to march in the rain.
Okay. The commander forced the soldiers to march in the rain. Okay. So, this is how it goes with this one kind of it, where you have a subject, verb, required noun. So, that required noun is there. What will happen if that required noun is not there? If I say the commander forced to march in the rain, whom?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't know who.
We don't know who it is. So, there required noun is important. So, it gives some clarity to the sentence.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Here suggested is V2, right?
Yeah.
Then what is the role of to read? Already it is telling the tense, simple past. My friend suggested.
What is it acting as?
It is not acting as a.
No tense, right? It is only acting as the infinitive. That's it. Infinitives are, they don't tell you anything about the tense. They only tell you, they give some kind of a meaning, we can say, to the sentence. So, it that way, because I already told you it does not give you any tense. So, that is how it will be. Right. One more example we will see. This one goes to verb plus, that is subject plus verb plus optional noun. Okay. Optional noun plus infinitive. Okay. Verb plus optional noun plus infinitive. Here I say ask. To this I can say they asked to leave. Whom? Not required. They asked me to leave, they asked him to leave, they asked them to leave, they asked us to leave, it can be anybody. So, even without that, I think we can just put it out over here. Okay. So, this becomes your option. Can you give some examples orally to this?
They asked to study.
They asked to study. Fine, good.
They asked to learn the English language.
Okay. Can you give with the word prepare?
They prepared to enter a hall.
They prepared to enter the hall. Okay. They prepared to enter. They prepared to enter. Okay. Fine. Any other?
I prepared to convince others.
Okay. They prepared to take the test. Okay. They prepared to take the test. So, this is how it will be done. Okay. We will continue with this with few more rules which are there. We will continue with that.
Now, Listen to two people conversing with each other. They discuss some important issue.
Hi Varsha,
Hi Manasi,
I like your salwar. Your dress sense is good.
thank you. But what is dress sense?
Dress sense. Okay, so how can I tell you about dress sense? See, dress sense is the way that we present ourselves to other people.
Okay.
So dress sense will include the kind of clothes that we are wearing, but it also talks about the way we present ourselves, how confident we look, how neatly our hair is kept. It also talks about how fresh our face looks also.
Oh,
Now, dress sense is so important because it reflects the kind of person that you are. Ante, however you are inside, that will be shown through your dress sense. So,
Okay.
it talks about your nature, your mentality, how your thought process is, it talks about your culture, and so many more things.
oh,
For example, a person who likes to wear bright colored, shiny, flashy clothing, they are probably open people who are very outward in their behavior. A person who likes to wear soft colors, pastel colors, maybe they are soft natured people.
oh, that is interesting to know. Can you tell me more about dress sense?
Sure. There is one more thing. Dress sense also reflects the culture that we follow and tells us a lot, tells the other person a lot about your tradition.
Okay.
You see, India has so many cultures and traditions, it has so many languages. Dress sense in India is as varied and diverse as the number of languages that we have. For example, when you come to functions, regular functions like marriages or housewarming functions, you will see people in South India will mostly wear saris or half saris.
Correct.
People in Punjab will probably wear Punjabi suits, and people in Uttar Pradesh may probably wear lehengas or anarkalis. So, the dress sense that we conduct ourselves in is reflecting our nature. So, it is so important that we give that necessary importance to the way we dress and
Oh,
in different situations.
okay. So, you need to be careful to dress exactly to the occasion. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. You have to dress according to the occasion. Let me give you a few instances. Now, when we go to school or when we go to college, why are we going? Because we want to learn something. We want to educate ourselves and make ourselves better. So, we have to dress in such a way where we do not distract ourselves or the people around us. That is why we are advised to wear soft colors, simple clothing like salwars or regular pants and shirts,
Okay.
so that we don't distract the people around us and all of us can focus on studying, learning and improving ourselves. This is why schools have a rule that the students must wear a uniform.
Oh,
Everybody is dressed the same way, there is no difference. So you are not distracted by the way your friends are dressed. Everyone can think about studying and learning.
exactly.
Now you can also look at the concept of where you go for job interviews or when you're attending meetings. Now here you are asked to wear formal clothing.
True.
This is because when a person dresses formally, they are showing seriousness in them. They are showing that dedication to the work that they are doing. Now, when you go for a job interview, you want to show the person who's interviewing you, ante the interviewer, that you are interested in this job, you are dedicated to it, and that you want to pursue this particular job opportunity. So, you have to show that seriousness, which is why you are asked to wear formals. Even when you attend meetings, you are showing that interest and that sincerity to the work that has to be done. So, men will wear formal shirts, formal pants with a decent shirt tucked in with a belt and maybe a tie also. They
Okay.
can also wear a blazer. Women have different kinds of formal wear. They can wear saris, but remember the sari should not be bright like you wear for functions. It should be a simple color, maybe like the blue that you're wearing.
Oh.
Or the red color that you're wearing. Simple
Okay.
colors, pastel colors kind of saris. Salwars also can be worn in a similar color sense. But women also have the chance of wearing formal suits. Women can wear pants and shirt tucked in along with a blazer also. Now there is one more place that we can look at the dress sense. I mentioned earlier about functions like marriage ceremonies, housewarming functions. Over there, everybody wants to celebrate a happy occasion. Everyone wants to be together and spread the joy. So we will naturally dress in a festive manner. We will wear bright, shiny clothing which is loud, very happy, because we want to show others that we are celebrating. Now, remember that I mentioned earlier, dress sense is not only about the kind of clothes you are wearing. Dress sense also talks about how you conduct yourself. How is your hair? Is it neat? Is your face fresh? Do you have any kajal? Do you have any powder on? All of this also comes under dress sense.
Okay.
Now tell me, how will it look if you come for an interview, you wear nice clothing, but you have not combed your hair and you don't put anything on your face and you look like you've come out of bed?
That will absolutely be inappropriate.
It will look very bad, right? That is
Absolutely.
why when you wear a dress according to an occasion, you should also make sure that you get ready in a nice way. Comb your hair nicely. Ladies, you can leave your hair loose, you can tie it up, and men, comb your hair nicely. You can wear powder, girls can wear kajal, they can wear eyeliner, they can wear lipstick, whatever it is. But make yourself look nice according to the dress that you're wearing.
Mansi, I'm heading for my class now. I think I am appropriately dressed.
Yes, you are.
Okay, Mansi, I'll see you later.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, now listen to a story. Try to observe the vocabulary and the grammar in it.
The three brothers. The wife of the headman of the village died soon after giving birth to a baby boy. So in her delivery, she gave birth to a baby boy and died. The headman was inconsolable but was persuaded by his family and friends to marry again so that the child would have someone to look after him. So he was in a great grief, but his members of the family forced him to marry again so that the woman whom he could marry will definitely look after the child, so that the boy wouldn't be orphaned. Fortunately, his second wife turned out to be a large-hearted and sensible woman who gave the child all the love and care he would have received from his own mother. Fortunately, the woman whom he married turned out to be a very kind-hearted woman. She looked after this baby wonderfully, just like his own mother. In the course of the years, she presented the headman with 2 more sons, but her affection for the oldest never diminished. Means she looked after the eldest son equally with her own sons. So the love towards the first boy did not come down. It did not diminish. She treated all the 3 boys alike, and the 2 younger ones never realized that they had a stepbrother. So no one in the family, none of the 2 boys knows that he is their stepbrother. When the headman passed away, the widow entrusted the responsibilities of the household and the fields to the eldest son. So she gave the power to the eldest son. He managed them so well that the family prospered. So soon the family started getting riches. So they became very wealthy because the eldest one did his duties promptly. This made the neighbors envious. So naturally the neighbors were jealous of this family. One day, one of them told the widow's sons the truth about their eldest brother and advised them to drive him away from the house, lest he should deprive them of their share of their father's property. Means he would grab the whole property and he would never let you enjoy the property, so better send him away from the home. This was the advice given by the neighbors. The boys were shocked at the revelation because they did not know till then that they had a stepbrother. So for the first time they heard it from the neighbors and were frightened by the prospect of losing their share of the property. They decided to murder him. They actually thought of sending him away, but instead they thought of killing him too. When they told their mother about what they planned to do, she said to them, "Don't bloody your hands. I will get rid of him for you." That night, when everybody was asleep, she suddenly jumped out of bed and started shouting, "Snake, snake!" "Where? Where did you see it, mother?" asked the eldest son, getting up from his mat. "Alas," said the widow, "I saw it disappearing into your stomach." Can anyone believe this? But the eldest son, who loved his mother a lot and adored her and respected her, believed. The young man turned pale. From that day on, he lost all his appetite for food and would lie on his mat the whole day long. Soon, he became so weak that he could not even sit up on his mat. So he became, day by day, he started deteriorating and he started becoming weak and weak. So how weak he became, he could not even sit on his mat. The neighbors rejoiced and took advantage of the situation. They built a wall across the widow's courtyard and claimed a part of the house as their own. In the fields, they shifted their boundaries to enclose large portions of the widow's lands. So when the eldest one was not there in the field and he was not moving in the house too, the neighbors started taking advantage. They erased the boundaries and they started encroaching the land of this widows. The younger sons could not deal with the situation, and one day they said to their mother, "If our elder brother was not bedridden, such terrible things wouldn't have happened to us." Then they realized the fact that the eldest son was the actual fortune of the family because he used to manage everything single-handed. The widow kept quiet, but in the dead of the night, she again started shouting, "Snake, snake!" Everyone woke up. "Where? Where did you see it, mother?" asked the eldest son weakly. His voice was very weak because he became very weak. "Son, I saw it coming out of your stomach," replied the woman. "It disappeared into the darkness." From that day on, the condition of the eldest son started improving. Soon he was able to walk into the courtyard where he saw new wall. "Who has built this?" he thundered. He loudly asked, who had built this? The neighbors came running and meekly pulled down the wall. Very humbly, very politely, they pulled down the wall because they were all afraid of this eldest son, who was strong and who was powerful. The following week, he went to the family fields and seeing the new boundaries and shouted, "Who has done this?" The neighbors trembled in fear and quickly vacated the land they had grabbed. The land which they encroached, immediately they pulled that fences out. The widow and her 3 sons lived in peace and harmony ever after. So, a lie made the eldest son, a lie which the widow told, made the eldest son weak, and another lie brought him back to his own power and strength. So, this is how we always see that mountain out of mole. This is how we see the mountain out of mole sometimes, and we get afraid of for the smallest things too. and then we lose our confidence and we want to give up. But nothing is bigger than the fear which we have in our hearts. So we must have courage to face anything. Once we become weak and we just give up our acts and we don't feel like working further. So be brave and face your problems boldly. Don't don't just look at the problems only, just look at the solutions. Thank you.
It's a parable that you're going to listen to, observe the words, the structures, etc.
Good morning.
A very good morning.
Welcome back to another episode of English for All. In this segment, we're going to listen to a small parable, which is a Podupu Katha, and see what moral we can learn from this parable. Varsha, would you like to share it?
I would love to. This parable is slightly interesting one. The story goes as, once upon a time there was a beautiful cottage and there lived an old lady with two of her servants in that house. The old lady also possessed a hen. The hen would religiously crow at dawn every morning. The old lady would wake up and she used to rouse her servants also. The servants, being very lazy, they did not like it. No matter how hard they tried, they wanted to sleep late in the morning, till late in the morning. No matter how hard they tried, the old lady didn't let them do that. She used to religiously wake them up on time and ask them to work. Every day this was their daily routine. And the servants used to crib all the time. They used to get irritated because they wanted to sleep and the old lady would wake them up. So they sat and they thought, I think this is happening because of the hen. The hen always crows at dawn. It is only because of the crowing of the hen that the old lady is waking up at dawn and she is waking us up also. And I'm not liking this. Why don't we hatch a plan and sell the hen?
Yeah, because
So that there be no hen to crow and we
no
will
one to wake up,
no one to wake us up and we can sleep till late in the morning.
Yes.
So one day when the old lady was doing her own chores, the servants took the hen out of the house almost to the end of the city and sold it to a butcher. And they came back and they were very happy with themselves that our plan was successful. We happened to take the hen and sell it. Now there is no hen to crow and nobody to wake us up.
Yes.
Because the lady is also very old and she also would not remember to wake us up. And finally they went to bed on that day. But they were wrong. Here's what happened. When they were asleep, in the middle of the night, the old lady came to their room and she started banging the door. She said, wake up, it is time. The boys woke up. Both the lazy servants, they were looking at each other. They said, it is only midnight. It is 3 o'clock. Why should we wake at this time? Why should we wake up at this time? And then they went, they opened the door, they saw the old lady, she already had work for them. She said, why don't you start working? And they were surprised. They said, it is 2:30 or 3 in the morning. Why should we get up and start working now? It is too early. It is midnight still.
Yeah.
The old lady said, there is no hen to crow. How should I know whether it is morning, whether it is dawn, or whether it is midnight? So get up and start working. And the servants had to get up and start working. That is when they kicked themselves and they said, if and only if we would have let the hen all by itself, at least, rather than waking up at midnight, waking up at dawn was far better. This is where it happens that worst solutions just worsen the problems even more. So, what we learn from here is, don't unnecessarily lead each problem to a wrong solution and give it your own wrong take on it. Because anytime you're taking a negative sense as to whatever is happening and you try to deal with that problem in a negative way, a wrong thought, a wrong solution will only worsen the problem even more, because you're not seeing the perspective of it. Each person should wake up on time, should complete their work on time and sleep on time, and that is what the poor old lady also wanted to do. But unnecessarily, these lazy servants, in the view of being too lazy, they only wanted to kick the hen out of the house and sleep till late in the morning. But instead it just worsened their own problems.
Exactly, that makes sense. That was a nice story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. I think we've learned something good out of it.
Absolutely, and thank you all for watching this.